it's a very simple idea, which is I would make these books because I couldn't afford art supplies and I didn't really know like what I wanted to do. I don't know, like I would have like a lot of free time and I would just like make stuff out of things that I would hoard or like collect, like magazines or like I save paper all the time just because I hate throwing it away. So I guess the whole point of this project is just to keep yourself busy and to make new textures for you to draw on. So this is a dummy book. But basically you can make your trash book to be any size. I also use a lot of paper. Am I here? Is it still recording?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Hold on.
Cool.
I don't know if I'm muted, but yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're here.
You're still.
Yeah. So because I use a lot of paper, I keep all the like excess. So I kind of like this size for my book. It's like, I don't know, like maybe 10-inch. It's like a good rectangle panoramic size. And the way, very easy, how to start, you just select a bunch of different paper textures. I have this newsprint. And essentially, you just want to cut it all down to the same size. And I have like paper like this. And you want to disperse it. And I kind of like the idea of this book as the sketchbook as like experimenting with new materials, new textures. I even like taking stuff from magazines and like putting them in like that. And I have this transparent paper that I used at some point. Fold it in half. Maybe I'll put it in like that. And then essentially you just keep going until you're satisfied, and then fold it. And then cut the excess down. So it's a book. And then you take a rubber band. This is really important. A rubber band is kind of essential for this project, only because as you use the book, as you draw on it or write in it, you can keep adding to it. So it's kind of like a scrapbook, but it is more versatile. Like there's just more things you can do with it. And so yeah. So that's kind of how I like see it going. But you can also use thicker paper to make your cover, and like cardboard or just like watercolor paper, and the book will grow and like will stabilize itself and like will become a sketchbook, and you don't have to buy one. I obviously have like nicer paper, but you can use printer paper and newsprint. But, yeah. So I guess that's kind of it took like not even 5 minutes to explain, but if you guys want to unmute yourselves and talk about ways to keep yourself busy, or if you like my idea, or have any questions about how to do this, please feel free to unmute yourself. Anyone?
I can unmute myself. I feel like it would be nice to hear other people's working on it. But so now you're gonna just like paint over it and draw over it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, now it can be it can literally be whatever you want. Like you can write in it as a journal, or you can draw on it like a sketchbook. I like having like translucent pages and like magazine. Maybe I'll add more to it. Stuff that's like printed up. That's printed on. I like having different textures because there's something satisfying about painting on different textures that I wouldn't normally do. And there's like always, you can always play with the pagination. So maybe I'll disperse.
Do you collage? Do you like glue stuff on it ever, for instance?
I have. I wish I had copies of the ones that I made in high school because they got so crazy. Like I would go, like I was taking like a printmaking class, and it would take all the rejects of my prints and I would like make them into books, and then all the prints would have like etchings on it, but then also drawings and like stuff like that. But it's hard to like, I don't know, like describe how to do this at times, because I'm like, oh, it's so easy, but you know, it's not easy for most people to figure this out. But yeah.
At the show at PS1, actually, the last show that was on now, there was there was a lot of like similar type of books made in, I believe it was in Iraq when they made them, but it was like an artist that was working with it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole idea is that there's so many different surfaces you could be drawing on, and it doesn't have to be like cohesive in a way. It can be like really anything. I don't know. I also like making stuff out of trash just because it feels better. I'm not like, I get all this stuff in the mail and I just have to throw it out. Like I like having, like giving it another life. It makes me feel better, but
yeah, it kind of feels like that's the natural recycling thing rather than
yeah.
Like I agree.
This stuff was, it's not, there's like other uses for it besides like it just going into landfill or disintegrating.
I actually was thinking of how much like a lot of positive things are happening from the lockdown that's happening around the world now. Like the air in New York feels extremely like clean for the first time in a long time. But like one thing that I was thinking that it's gone a little bit worse is the amount of packages and the amount of like other unrecyclable things. Like I can see gloves everywhere in New York City on the streets now, and like masks and gloves, and that's such a sad aspect of that.
Yeah, well, and I was thinking project, the reason why I thought about this was because we get so much stuff in the mail right now. Like that's kind of our only means of, like, besides grocery shopping. But so I was thinking like maybe doing stuff, giving our packages another another go around or doing something with them would be beneficial. But yeah.
Yeah, I think
Be
that like
your COVID journal.
yeah, I agree. I mean, I personally started actually journaling a few days into the lockdown, and it's been very helpful for me to like just have like a place to just write down thoughts that are going through my mind, as I'm sure everybody is having so many thoughts right now
Yeah.
constantly.
Thoughts and anxieties.
Yeah, mood swings. I think it's very one thing that I notice myself and I notice everyone that I've been talking to seems like the change of mood is like what defines what's going on right now. How like we just go
Yeah.
from like one feeling to a completely opposite feeling the following day, and it's yeah, that thing feels unique.
It's yeah, the fluctuation, like waking up and feeling like maybe okay, and then like the day goes on and you just kind of recede, like you know, yeah. Here's what I've got so far.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I like the layer, the different kind of material is what makes it like really cool. I agree.
Yeah, and then I have like these drawings, these old drawings that I made that I'm like, am I gonna need? So I like maybe I'll put these in as like a spacer. I don't know. I also like putting pages in that are different lengths also.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like just a psychotic.
What kind of rubber band do you think, like the one you're using, is it just like a regular?
So these are I collect rubber bands.
Yes.
You can see. So these are just regular, like probably from broccoli. I
I was
think.
gonna say vegetable ones.
These are all the vegetable rubber bands. Here's a really large one. This actually would be a really good one. But a basic rubber band, probably fine. The smaller ones are harder. I wouldn't use them unless you're making a small book.
I think that having like some harder stock, this is like just from a point of view of like binding, just because I've had in the past tried to do binding with rubber bands for zines.
Yeah.
The problem that I was having when I was like when I was trying to do binding with rubber bands from zine is that eventually the rubber band starts like shrinking the pages over
like
the years. Yeah, and then it actually disintegrates. So maybe having like a harder stock and a tougher rubber band, it's probably the way to go.
Yeah. Well, I have string, and I've done string before, but it also kind of loosens after a while. And I've noticed that the rubber band is the strongest. It just will like maybe tear your paper.
So with the strings. Sorry, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can go.
With the strings, how would you do it with the strings? Like going all around like this, or would you like hole punch, like make a hole?
I would just do the same thing as the rubber band, just like try to get it as tight as possible. You could do it twice, maybe. Because it is like the whole idea is that it's a book in flux. So you're like adding to it as you go. It could be every day. You could be adding to it, or you could be just trying to draw and finish it, you know. it's hard to do it with one person. You need someone to like put their finger down.
To hold the string.
Hold the string, but but kind of like that.
Yeah, okay.
But
Cool.
like tighter.
But I can tell that the strings is not gonna hold as strong as.
No, you need someone to like help you tie it, or like maybe I can do it. It's just like really tight. That might work actually.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Is anybody else in the chat been working on one now? Do they want to share?
Yes, I have one, but I made it some months ago. That I work at a warehouse, and I'm always trying to buy the same books to paint and draw. So I made my own book out of the supplies I found. This one. It's made from cardboard and printer pages. And
cool.
the binding I use is like the water black tape. So I should
like duct tape.
Like yeah, like that. The electrical wire, electrical tape, I think it's called.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Punch like hole to string, so you close it like this, like with a knot on the front with the string, and yeah, that's the one I made.
That's great. That's like more work, but it's like probably will last longer than this. Like there's no cover, it's not protected. So it's a good idea with the cardboard and the tape.
Yeah, I use like regular like boxes where the nails and the screws came. So I like cut it wrong because you can see that the pages are bigger than the cardboard. But I don't know. I should tape it all together.
Yeah, it's like almost like a portfolio to like hold everything. Yeah.
You can probably put fabric too, I'm thinking now. Maybe with some fabric, it will also be like some other pages.
Yeah, I actually have some like this I was like, maybe I'll put that in. Yeah, there's like the whole idea around the sketchbook is to have kind of a unlimited amount of pages, and that's kind of why I like projects like this, where you're like, it's really spontaneous and kind of up to you. Yeah. So this is what you can be more deliberate with it too.
I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna like try and see even like a printed photograph could be folded and going inside too.
Yeah,
so that's one thing that I'm gonna think.
I have like all these old like Art in America and like what is it, Uline catalogs. So I'm like, maybe I'll like rip out a couple pages from this and make pages out of that. I was thinking also, I love when it's like see-through. Like I really love the effect of vellum in it. And if you don't have vellum, I think like if you have some kind of parchment paper, that always works. But it always looks cool when you draw on top of vellum, and then you can see like the other.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So like a lot of the sketchbooks I made in the past have had like interacting pages with the vellum and the whatever drawing. So, yeah, sometimes I do like strips of vellum.
It's cool because basically every sheet that you include in the thing, it's 4 pages. So it just every one sheet is like, it allows you to do 4 extra pages in it.
Yeah, and then it goes in and out too. Like it can go from like smooth to soft to like so
see through and everything. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And sometimes it helps to fold the pages before, and then sometimes it doesn't. I was gonna say actually after you're done making this, weighting it down with giant books or whatever's like heavy a planter, just like folding it and putting it underneath your mattress even, and so it like stays, and keeping it overnight like that or a couple days will help it like crease.
Mm-hmm.
And like everything will conform, because then it'll actually become like a book, and the more you add, the more it'll like bulk up. But
true.
Yeah. So, and it can be, I like am kind of messy with mine, but the best is when you can get it all one length. It looks a lot better than what I'm doing right now. But
I think it's cool, different length. It gives like more of a, like really what it is, kind of.
Yeah. I used to put in like receipts. I really liked like keeping all my receipts and like making like drawings on them. But and it can be kind of I don't know. Sometimes it's like it looks cool, and then sometimes it looks kind of corny. But I'll do another page here. Yeah, and I have all like this whole stack is from when I like cut down my own paper, and I keep it. I have so many stacks of these like weird irregular shapes. So this is kind of like a perfect project to do with stuff like this. So if you work with paper at home and just don't throw it away, like you can still use this kind of thing. So.
How many pages do you think you put so far?
11, 12, 13, 14, 17 sheets right now. So it's a lot. That's a lot. And that would last a long time too, because if you're like drawing in it every day, I wouldn't have to add that many. Yeah. And then when it comes to like drawing in it too, I love using like Sharpie on pages like this, or like going in with like a glue stick and collaging on top of things, or it's really kind of free form. Like this is truly like a mixed media project. It's more like you can do whatever you want. So now it's really thick. Maybe I'll try the rubber band now and see if that holds better. Because I actually got this really tight. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I think that the rubber band, the good thing of the rubber band is that if you include pages later on that are a little bit wider, you can still adjust. With the string, you can't really adjust.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna cut the paper. And also, if you're traveling with these books, if you're traveling, going places, they'll start to tatter. So it's like I like putting it in between other books and like keeping them safe, or making like its own pouch, like its own envelope that it comes in. That's like a travel notebook envelope.
Cool,
But,
that's true.
so you can really go crazy with this. Like you can go and make accessories for your book.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a project like these, like at the end of these lockdown, to have like an exhibition of people's notebooks of that kind would be so cool.
Yeah. I think about like if you don't have materials accessible to you, making them yourself is always a good way to be. Like figuring out if you can't afford to buy a sketchbook, you can make one, and this is like a way in which you can. It doesn't have to be like art paper, like fancy like paper, but
so cool.
See how
yes,
it's a fatty. My view line, old drawing. Yeah. I still have like so much stuff. I mean, I could keep going, but if anyone has questions or wants to show the book that they're making, or if they're working on themselves.
We have a couple of more minutes.
Yeah. How's everyone doing? Does anyone want to say anything? Check in. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I guess if you feel like if you like this idea, I would love to see people's notebooks and see what they do with them, and if they add pages like this to them. So
I think people are shy, so let's just end it there.
And end it there. Okay.
I don't want to give people pressure if they've been writing a little bit. People are thanking, and people said that they never seen it before or heard it before.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of just a practice in making your own art supplies, like your own, and it gives you something to do it's not meaningless, but it feels kind of like nice to sit and cut down paper and like just deliberately choose the pages that you want to draw on, or things that like make you happy.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.